From making the best thing he ever built and selling it for weed money, to paying $400,000 above market value for a childhood home, and filling it with strangers until it became unlivable. Here is every time Jesse Pinkman acquired something worth keeping and destroyed it before anyone could see it was good. Here is the first question. There is a moment in Breaking Bad where Jesse Pinkman describes a wooden box he made in high school woodshop. He chose the wood. He learned the joints. He applied the finish and stood back and knew, with complete certainty, that he had made something right. The pride in his voice is the clearest emotion Jesse Pinkman expresses across 5 seasons of television. Unguarded, unperformed, entirely real. Then he tells Walt he sold it, for weed money, before anyone could see it. Here's the second question. Trauma psychologists have spent 40 years documenting a specific, repeatable cycle in survivors of chronic childhood shame and neglect. The cycle has a clinical name, repetition compulsion, and a documented pattern that researchers including Bessel van der Kolk and Judith Herman have confirmed across thousands of case studies. The pattern goes, the survivor acquires something real, a relationship, a home, an object that proves they are worth something, briefly possesses it, then systematically destroys it before it can be taken away. Then they acquire something else and repeat the cycle at a larger scale. Both questions have the same answer, and the answer was documented in clinical research 20 years before Vince Gilligan wrote a single word of Breaking Bad. Jesse Pinkman does not destroy things because he is reckless. He destroys them because he learned, at a specific point in his life, that he is not the kind of person who gets to keep good things. And every acquisition, the box, the house, the relationship with Jane, the money, the operation itself, is the same transaction run at increasing scale. Something real, arrived at through genuine effort or genuine love, surrendered before anyone can confirm that he deserved it. The question is not why Jesse Pinkman kept destroying what he built. The question is where he learned that destroying it first was safer than waiting for someone else to take it. Bessel van der Kolk's research in The Body Keeps the Score, one of the most cited clinical texts in trauma psychology, documents the repetition compulsion with specific precision. Survivors of chronic early shame do not simply re-experience their trauma in memory. They recreate it in behavior. They build the conditions of the original wound in the present, not because they want to suffer, but because the wound happened at an age when they had no framework for understanding why good things ended. The child's brain, unable to process the loss, arrives at the only conclusion available to it. The thing ended because you did not deserve it. You ruined it. You will ruin the next one too. That conclusion becomes the operating instruction. The survivor acquires something good. The operating instruction activates. They ruin it, not consciously, not deliberately, but with the efficiency of a reflex trained across years of confirmation. The thing ends. The original conclusion is validated. The cycle resets. Jesse Pinkman has been running this cycle since before the show begins. His parents sell the house, the specific house, the address where he existed before the drugs and the decisions and the accumulation of everything that cannot be undone. They are moving on. The house is a practical asset to them. To Jesse, it is the last physical location where a version of himself still lived, who had not yet confirmed the operating instruction. He buys it back for $400,000, above market value. Within weeks of having the money to do it, he moves in immediately. Within a month, the parties begin. Van der Kolk's clinical documentation of the repetition compulsion specifies something that the Breaking Bad writing room appears to have understood instinctively. The survivor does not destroy the acquired thing in a single dramatic act. They destroy it through accumulation, through a series of small decisions that individually look like living, but collectively produce the same outcome as a demolition. Jesse does not put his fist through the walls of the $400,000 house. He simply never asks the strangers to leave. He never cleans the carpet. He never sits in the rooms alone long enough to hear what the silence is trying to tell him. The silence is trying to tell him the boy who used to live here is not recoverable through real estate. He already knows. That is why he cannot be alone in the house without the noise of other people's presence filling every room. By season 5, Jesse Pinkman has access to more cash than his parents will earn across the rest of their working lives combined. He has earned it through genuine technical mastery. The purity of the product he and Walt produce is documented in the show as the finest manufactured in the American Southwest. His hands produced that. His chemistry, developed from years of practice before Walt formalized it, is the reason the operation generates what it generates. He has almost none of the money at any point in the series. Not because it is taken from him, though some of it is, because Jesse Pinkman does not hold on to money. He gives it away, to Skinny Pete and Badger, to homeless strangers on the street, out of a car window and moving traffic. He dispenses with the evidence of his own productivity with the speed and efficiency of a man who has been told, by a reflex older than conscious memory, that he is not the kind of person who accumulates things of value. Judith Herman's clinical documentation in Trauma and Recovery identifies this specific behavior, the survivor who cannot retain what they earn, as one of the most consistent markers of chronic childhood shame. The dispossession is not generosity, it is preemptive. If you give it away before it can be taken, you are the author of its absence rather than the victim of it. The operating instruction, running beneath every conscious decision, prefers that outcome. The woodshop box was the first lesson. The money is the last. By El Camino, by the moment Jesse drives north toward Alaska and a life that starts from nothing, the cycle is not broken. It is suspended. He is driving away from everything he built and destroyed, which is the only direction available to a man whose operating instruction has consumed every environment he has ever inhabited. The new identity, the new state, the new name, these are not proof that the cycle is over. They are proof that Jesse Pinkman has finally stopped trying to keep things in the territory where the cycle was learned. He is driving towards somewhere the operating instruction has no history. That is not recovery. That is the first condition for it. Jesse Pinkman built things his whole life. He just never learned how to keep them. The woodshop box was always going to be sold. That was never about the box.